So in this video, we're going to take a little look at functions. In maths, a function is essentially something that takes an input and produces an output. Functions may be given in the form of function machines, or they may be given as mathematical expressions, which we're going to look at today. So the first skill we're going to look at is how we evaluate functions. Evaluating functions basically involves putting numbers into the function to get the result. So in this example here, we've been told a function is given by f(x) equals 3x plus 1. And first of all, we've been asked to find f of 10. So all that we're required to do here is to replace our x with 10. So we'll write out f bracket x, and that was equal to 3x plus 1. So then we wanted to replace all our x's with 10. So we then have f bracket 10 is equal to 3 bracket 10 plus 1. And then like a normal question, we'd then just have to expand out these brackets. So f bracket 10 would then be equal to 3 times 10, which is 30, plus the 1. And we know that 30 plus 1 is just going to be 31. So that's our first question all done. For the next one, we're going to look at f bracket 5. Okay, so same sort of process. We've got f bracket x is equal to 3x plus 1. And we now want to replace all our x's with 5. Okay, so f5 is equal to 3 bracket 5 plus 1. And we now want to expand out this bracket like a normal question. So we now say that f bracket 5 is equal to 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 1. So this would then equal 15 plus 1 is 16. Okay, all done on that one. The last one we're going to look at is f bracket x plus 2. So we've got standard sort of question here. F bracket x is equal to 3x plus 1. Then we want to replace all our x's with x plus 2. So we write f bracket x plus 2 is equal to 3 bracket x plus 2 plus 1. So we then want to expand out these brackets like a normal expansion. Okay, so 3 times x would be 3x, and 3 times 2 would be 6. So we would then be left with 3x plus 6 plus 1, which would be 3x plus 7. Okay, so that's how we evaluate functions. The next thing we're going to look at is basically what are composite functions. Okay, so composite functions is basically the result of one function being applied immediately after the other. So here we've been told fx is equal to 2x minus 3 and gx is equal to x plus 1. And first of all, we've been asked to find f gx. So what we want to do here then is we want to write f gx. And we now basically, gx is going to be our input. So we'll now put gx into the brackets. We're finding f of gx. Okay? Gx, as we know, is x plus 1, as we were told at the start. So we can then replace our gx with x plus 1. And then this is just a standard evaluation now. So it'd be f bracket x plus 1. So we're going to replace all the x's in our fx with x plus 1. We'll expand this out like a normal question. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 1 is 2. So we've then got 2x plus 2 minus 3, which should then just evaluate to 2x minus 1. Okay. For the next part, we're then just going to find g of x. So same sort of process. We have g fx. We're now finding g of fx. We've got g bracket fx, where fx is now our input. Fx, as we know from the start, is 2x minus 3. So we now have g of 2x minus 3. Okay. And then standard sort of question, we're then going to replace all our x's in gx with 2x minus 3. So we now have 2x minus 3 plus 1. And we don't need to expand this out at all because it already is there. So our final answer would then just be that, g of 2x minus 3 is going to be equal to 2x minus 2. Okay, so that's maybe the same sort of process as before. So the last part we're then going to look at is how we find the inverse of a function. Okay, so the inverse of a function is basically a function acting in reverse. The inverse of a function is shown by this notation here, f to the power of minus 1x. And we've got a step-by-step process that we can use for any of these questions. So for this question here, we've been told, given that fx is equal to x plus 8 over 3, find the inverse. So the first step we want to do is replace our fx with y. Okay, so we have fx equals x plus 8 over 3. We're just going to replace our fx with y, so it will now be y equals x plus 8 over 3. The next step is we now want to swap our x and y. So going from y equals x plus 8 over 3, we're now going to have x equals y plus 8 over 3. And as you can see, the third step, we're then going to rearrange to make y the subject. So we're going to be going from x equals y plus 8 over 3. We'll rearrange this like a normal formula. So we want to move the 3 up to the left. The opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. So we'd multiply both sides by 3, leaving us with 3x equals y plus 8. And remember, we want to make y the subject. So we're now going to move that 8 across. So the opposite of adding 8 is to subtract 8. So we'll now subtract 8 from both sides, leaving us with y is equal to 3x minus 8. And finally, our last step is just to replace our y with the inverse sign. Okay, so we've gone from y equals 3x minus 8 to now having the inverse of f is 3x minus 8. And that's how we find the inverse of a function. I hope that helped. If you've got any questions or concerns at all, just leave them in the comments below and we'll do our best to help you out.